Everyone says getting rich is complicated. That you need luck, secrets, or a degree in finance. That's a lie. The truth is, wealth is brutally simple. And the reason most people never taste it isn't because it's too hard. It's because they don't have the stomach for the brutal part. They crave comfort, they cling to safety, and they obey rules designed to keep them poor. But Machiavelli knew better. He warned us, power belongs to those who see reality as it is, not as they wish it to be. So forget the pretty lies, forget the slogans. If you want wealth, you need to see through the system, break the script, and play the game differently. This isn't motivation. This is war. And only the bold survive. Part 1, the trap of predictability. Most people aren't broke because they're dumb. They're broke because they're predictable. The system doesn't need you rich, it needs you obedient. And comfort is the leash that keeps you in chains. Most people wake up every morning like clockwork. Alarm rings, they scroll their phone, eat the same breakfast, drive the same road, sit in the same cubicle, complain about the same problems, and then repeat it all tomorrow. This cycle feels safe, predictable, comfortable, but comfort is the deadliest drug of all. Why? Because comfort kills ambition. Comfort lulls you into thinking you're secure when you're actually trapped. The truth is, jobs vanish, economies collapse, inflation eats savings. What looks safe is actually the riskiest path. And here's the brutal secret. The system is designed this way. Do you really think your boss, your government, or the people at the top want you to get rich? No, they want you predictable. Predictable workers can be taxed, managed, and manipulated. Predictable people don't question the rules. They don't break free. Machiavelli would laugh at this blindness. He understood human nature. People crave comfort, and that craving makes them easy to rule. It's why rulers keep the masses entertained with small pleasures, TV shows, weekend parties, cheap vacations. Distract them with crumbs so they never reach for bread. Think of it like this. The average person believes that if they just work hard and follow the script, school, job, savings, they'll be rewarded. But look around. Who actually gets rich that way? Nobody. The people who own the companies, who built the banks, who created the systems, they're the ones getting wealthy, while everyone else trades their life away for scraps. Let's be clear. The system doesn't reward effort. It rewards leverage. You can work 40 years in a job and never taste freedom. Or you can build one system, one business, one skill, and change your entire future in a fraction of that time. But here's the psychology trap. People fear risk more than they desire success. They fear losing a paycheck, even if that paycheck is slavery. They fear looking stupid, so they stay quiet and obedient. They fear failing, so they never try. That fear locks them in a cage. And the worst part? They decorate the cage and call it security. The truth is, there is no security. Jobs can disappear overnight. Companies can collapse. Inflation can drain savings. The only real security comes from control, and control only comes when you stop being predictable. So what's the first step? Awareness. Recognize the script. Recognize the loop you're living in. If every day looks the same, if your choices feel safe, if your future feels certain, you're already trapped. And traps don't free you, they break you. Remember this, the rich break patterns. They don't repeat what everyone else does. While others consume, they create. While others wait, they act. While others follow rules, they bend them. That's why one man can spend 40 years working and retire poor, while another spends 10 years building and lives free. Machiavelli put it simply, power belongs to those who dare to see reality without illusions. And the reality is this, the system isn't built for your success, it's built for your obedience. The moment you stop being predictable, you start being dangerous. And danger is the first step to freedom. Part 2, the brutal rules of the rich. The poor are taught to work, save, and pray. The rich are trained to own, control, and multiply. Same world, different rules. And if you don't learn their rules, you'll always lose the game. The poor believe in effort. They trade hours for wages, hoping loyalty will be rewarded. They cling to a script handed down since childhood. Go to school, get good grades, work hard, save, and life will reward you. But the truth is brutal. This script was never designed to create wealth. It was designed to create workers. Meanwhile, the rich play by a different rule book. Their rules are about control, not obedience. About power, not effort. And the first brutal divide is this. Rule 1. Ownership beats labor. A worker can only sell so many hours in a day. A business owner can multiply impact infinitely. One factory, one online store, one system can produce wealth 24/7. That's why Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or even the small entrepreneur down the street grow richer by the year because they own things that work without them. The worker is capped. The owner scales. Rule 2. Control the flow of money, don't wait for scraps. The poor stand by the river, waiting for a few drops of money to splash their way. The rich build pipes that divert the river directly into their land. Same river, same water, but one group waits while the other takes control. Rule 3. Multiply, don't hoard. The poor are told to save. Save your pennies, save for retirement, save for safety. But inflation eats savings. Emergencies wipe them out. The rich don't just save, they invest. They send money out like soldiers to bring back more soldiers. They don't let it sit idle. They make it work harder than they do. Rule 4. Appear stronger than you are. Machiavelli warned that perception is power. And the rich understand this deeply. Many wealthy people project success long before they truly have it. Why? Because confidence attracts opportunity, while desperation repels it. In wealth, your image often opens doors before your bank account does. Rule 5. Comfort is poison. The poor think comfort is the goal, a stable job, a nice car, a yearly vacation. But the rich understand comfort is a trap. Every great fortune came from risk, from discomfort, from stepping where others were too afraid to step. The rich don't avoid risk. They manage it, calculate it, and use it as a weapon. Now here's the part most people don't want to hear. These rules aren't hidden. They're in plain sight. You can read them in biographies, see them in businesses, study them in markets. But the reason most people never apply them is because they're hard. They're uncomfortable. They require sacrifice. Think about two friends. Both earn the same paycheck. One saves a little each month, hoping for safety. The other takes the same money and invests in a small skill. Marketing, coding, sales, something with leverage. 10 years later, one has a tired body and a modest savings account. The other owns assets, controls systems, and lives free. Same years, same hours, different rules. The difference is not intelligence, it's mindset. The poor cling to hope. The rich cling to reality. Hope says, maybe one day I'll get lucky. Reality says, if I don't own, control, and multiply, I stay trapped. And this is where Machiavelli's insight cuts deepest. Men are ruled by fear and desire. The rich don't run from these forces. They master them. They make people desire what they offer. They make people fear missing out. They pull the strings of human nature to create wealth. That's why they win. So here's the question. Which rulebook are you playing by? The rules of safety and obedience, or the rules of power and control? Because once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. Part 3. The psychology of staying broke. Most people aren't trapped by chains or laws. They're trapped by their own mind. Fear, doubt, and comfort are the invisible prisons that keep them poor. If the system is the cage, psychology is the lock. You can break the rules of money, but if your mindset is weak, you'll still stay stuck. The first trap is fear of failure. People would rather stay broke than risk looking stupid. They imagine every possible disaster. What if I lose money? What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? But here's the irony. Failure is temporary, poverty is permanent. Rich people fail more often than the poor. They just refuse to let failure stop them. The second trap is fear of rejection. Success requires asking for opportunities, for sales, for partnerships. But most people can't stomach hearing no. They'd rather stay silent than risk rejection. Meanwhile, the rich keep asking until someone says yes. One yes can change everything. The third trap is comfort addiction. This is the deadly. People get attached to small comforts. Netflix, takeout, weekend hangouts, new gadgets. They think they're rewarding themselves, but really, they're sedating themselves. Every comfort is another chain on ambition. The rich, on the other hand, delay comfort. They take the pain now to build freedom later. Then comes the victim mindset. People blame the government, the economy, their boss, even their parents. And while those forces are real, blame solves nothing. Machiavelli taught that power comes from owning reality, not wishing it were different. Victims wait for rescue. Owners create escape. There's also fear of standing out. In school, we're punished for breaking the rules. In society, we're mocked for being different. So people shrink themselves to fit in. But wealth requires standing apart, being noticed, even criticized. If everyone loves you, you're probably not doing anything powerful. Here's a harsh truth. The poor often know what they should do. They know they should invest. They know they should learn high-value skills.
They know they should stop wasting money.
But knowing isn't enough. Their psychology won't let them act. It's like a bird trained in a cage.
Even when the door is open, it doesn't fly. It doesn't trust freedom. Most people are the same.
They've been conditioned for obedience so long that freedom feels like danger. So how do the rich escape these mental prisons? They rewire their psychology. They embrace fear instead of running from it. They see failure as tuition, not tragedy. They trade comfort for growth. And they stop asking for permission to be different. Think about it. Every millionaire was once called crazy. Every entrepreneur was once mocked. Every risk-taker was once told they'd fail. And many did fail until they didn't. That's the secret. The rich keep pushing until the breakthrough happens. Machiavelli would remind us, men are motivated by two forces, fear and desire. The poor let fear control them. The rich harness desire to overpower fear. Desire for freedom, power, wealth, it burns stronger than the fear of loss. That's why they act while others hesitate. And here's the gut punch. Your psychology is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy.
The choice is yours.
Stay comfortable, stay safe, stay broke. Or confront the fear, use it as fuel, and break the chains inside your mind first. Because the mind is the first battlefield. Win here and the rest becomes possible. Lose here and you'll stay a slave no matter how much knowledge you have. Part 4, the weapons of leverage. The rich don't work harder, they work smarter through leverage. One man's effort is limited, but a system, a network, or even a single skill can multiply results 1,000 times. So far, we've talked about the trap of predictability, the brutal rules of the rich, and the psychology that holds people down. But now comes the turning point. What actually builds wealth? The answer is leverage. Leverage is the force multiplier. It's how the rich turn little inputs into massive outputs. Without leverage, you're capped. With leverage, you're limitless. There are several weapons of leverage. Money as leverage. The poor hoard money. The rich deploy it. $1,000 in savings earns pennies. $1,000 invested in the right place can return 10 times.
Money is a soldier. You don't lock it in a vault. You send it to the battlefield. Time as leverage.
You only have 24 hours. But the rich buy other people's time. They hire, delegate, outsource. A poor man mows his lawn to save $20. A rich man spends that hour closing a deal worth $2,000. The difference isn't effort, it's how they value time. Skills as leverage. Some skills multiply everything else. Sales, persuasion, copywriting, coding, leadership. These are meta skills. One powerful skill can change your income forever. The poor dabble in many things. The rich master a few. Systems as leverage. The rich don't just work, they build machines that work for them. Businesses, online platforms, distribution networks. Imagine setting up a system that earns money while you sleep. That's not magic, it's leverage. Technology as leverage. Today, one person with a laptop can reach millions. Social media, automation tools, AI, these are modern catapults. The poor use them for entertainment. The rich use them for domination. Same tools, different mindset. Here's the key. Leverage is unfair advantage. It breaks the one-to-one link between effort and reward. That's why one man spends years grinding with nothing to show, while another builds a system that spits out money every day. But leverage isn't free. It demands risk. It demands building before payoff. It demands discipline. That's why most people never touch it. They're stuck in short-term thinking. They want instant gratification, not long-term systems. Think about it like climbing a mountain. Without leverage, you carry the load on your back, step by step, exhausted. With leverage, you ride a cable car. You still reach the top, but faster, with less pain. The poor climb the hard way and never reach the summit. The rich use leverage to scale heights others can't imagine. Machiavelli would say, power flows to those who see reality clearly and use every tool available. That's what leverage is, the ruthless use of tools, skills, and systems to bend the game in your favor. Now ask yourself, are you playing fair or are you using leverage? Because fair play keeps you average.
Leverage makes you unstoppable.
Part 5. The Dark Art of Power and Preservation. Making money is hard. Keeping it is harder. The rich don't just build wealth, they guard it, weaponize it, and use power to ensure they can never be dethroned. We've seen the traps of predictability, the brutal rules of wealth, the psychology of the broke, and the weapons of leverage. But here's the last brutal truth. Wealth without power is fragile. If you don't learn how to protect it, someone else will take it. Rule 1. Protect your fortress. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler without a strong fortress invites enemies. In money, that fortress is diversification and security. The poor put everything in one basket, their job, their savings account. The rich spread risk, businesses, real estate, stocks, networks. If one door closes, 10 more remain open. Rule 2. Use laws, don't just follow them. The poor fear taxes. The rich use them as tools. Through corporations, trusts, and loopholes, they legally redirect money. They don't play the citizen's game, they play the ruler's game. That's why billionaires pay less tax, percentage-wise, than workers. Rule 3. Build alliances. Power is never held alone. The wealthy surround themselves with other powerful players, lawyers, advisors, investors, politicians. They buy influence, they secure protection, and they build networks where favors flow like currency. Meanwhile, the average person isolates themselves and wonders why no one helps them rise. Rule 4. Control perception. Machiavelli warned that being feared is safer than being loved, but both are better than being ignored. Wealth without influence is a target. That's why the rich invest in brand, reputation, image. They shape how the world sees them, and perception becomes armor. Rule 5. Play the long game. The poor chase quick wins. The rich think in decades. They plant seeds, investments, businesses, relationships that might take years to grow, but when they do, the tree is unshakable. They don't just want money, they want dynasties. And here's the darkest truth. The rich aren't just playing for themselves. They're locking the ladder behind them. They create systems, rules, and illusions that keep others trapped while they stay untouchable. That's why it feels like the rich get richer, because they've mastered both the creation and the preservation of wealth. Look at history. Empires rise not just by conquest, but by control. Kings, tycoons, and CEOs all follow the same pattern. Build wealth, consolidate power, protect it with alliances, laws, and perception. That's why their families rule for generations while ordinary people fight just to survive. So what does this mean for you? It means if you want wealth that lasts, you must think beyond income.
You must think about about power.
About systems that keep working when you're gone. Otherwise, you're just another success story waiting to collapse. Because wealth without power is sandcastles against the tide. But wealth with power,
that's a fortress.
That's a dynasty. Machiavelli's final whisper would be this: it is not enough to win. You must ensure you can never be defeated. Closing, so here we are. The truth is no longer hidden. Wealth was never complicated, it was always brutally simple. The only question is, do you have the courage to face the brutal part? You can go back to comfort, to scrolling, to routines that keep you trapped, or you can step into the arena where wealth, power, and freedom are won. Machiavelli warned us, fortune favors the bold, but only the prepared. If you're ready to stop waiting, stop wishing, and start building, then your time begins now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, because wealth doesn't reward the dreamer, it rewards the doer. The question is, which one are you?